Hey guys, it's me, Greenboy657 Gaming here, and today we're going to be doing a video on quantum science energy research facility. I forgot the name of the game for a second. As you can probably tell, we're going to do this unscripted again, just like the other two videos. Only this time the microphone shouldn't sound like I'm speaking to you through a cheese grater that was submerged into the Atlantic Ocean. So in this video we're going to be giving you the basics on how to play quantum science, the game, and hopefully you enjoy the video. I'm gonna do the thing where you're able to put like keyframes, and I'll have that in the description, so hopefully this video will be organized by section so you can skip to the section that you have a question about. But if I can't figure out how to do that, there'll just be timestamps in the comments, pinned comment. So without further ado, let's begin. Alright, here is the Hadron Collider Laboratory. The Hadron Collider, that's what I'm just going to call it, is the place where the dark matter energy fuel is produced in this game. I will get to how to boot the reactor, how everything works in a bit, but first, while I'm here, I'm going to show the fueling process. So, to get yourself some fuel, you're going to want to press this button, not to be confused with this button. This is the button that you want to press to start everything up. And then you're going to wait for this animation to finish playing. Now, dispensing fuel is incredibly simple. All you have to do is just not screw it up. Like, it's not difficult. So now that it's on, you're going to want to increase the speed to 60. Any higher and it starts to wear out, so I just recommend just leaving it at 60 because the fuel produces fast anyway. So you're going to want to wait for it to fill up. You don't have to be looking at the screen. You could just be walking around, like it doesn't really matter. And then once it says fuel cell is ready to be dispensed, you press this button again. You can't go over and press this one just yet, because first you have to wait for it to shut down. So producing fuel is not fast. It's kind of slow. I mean, the actual fuel production doesn't take too long, but only one person can hold one fuel cell at a time. You can't like hold two at once. So the several trips that it takes to refuel the reactor could be a mild annoyance for some people. So normally you wouldn't be playing this in an empty server like I am, but I am doing that just so people don't interrupt. And then once it produces, it'll say fuel cell is ready for pickup, and you're going to go right here and then click, and now you have a fuel cell. Oh, well, its animation's not loading, but normally it would be in your hand. And the fuel cell also acts as a light source. Now, when you put the fuel cell in the reactor, which I will get to, it'll give you an empty fuel cell. Those you can have, I believe, an unlimited amount of them. And then you could just put them in there to get rid of them. But you don't really have to. I mean, if you die, that's another way to get out of your inventory. But now we're going to go over to the reactor and show you how to start and operate that puppy. So let's teleport over there right now. And by teleport, I just mean jump like this. Alright, we're back, and welcome to the dark matter reactor control room. Now we're about to start the reactor up. As you can see, it's currently offline. It's got very cold, 0 kelvins. That's probably low. I don't know kelvins to Celsius. Anyway, so the first thing you have to do is not press the switch. That's not what you do first. First, you're going to want to calibrate the laser. Now, that little dot or that little line is going to spawn in some random position on this bar. And all you have to do to calibrate the laser is you need to click the button and just keep clicking it until you get the green in the middle. Now, if you're starting up the reactor and you have a lot of trolls in your game, they're probably going to click the other buttons to try to mess you up. But once it's calibrated, yeah, it can still be uncalibrated. So just hopefully that doesn't happen to you. So once it's in the middle, it's going to go right there. And then this switch is going to turn green. But you're still not ready. Now, once it's in the right spot, you need to press these 3 levers. And then now that they're all green, the fuel cells are locked. Now you need to go over here and flip these power lasers, feed water, pumps, and primary loops. You want all 6 of these on. For startup, the rest of these buttons around here don't matter. They won't be necessary for starting up the reactor. So once you're all good there, you can flip this key, and then there's going to be some alarms, and then you can now press the big button. So now the reactor is going to start booting up. There's going to be laser, fun stuff, and then the temperature will start to it'll start to go up. It takes a little bit. There's supposed to be an animation of it moving up, but for some reason it doesn't work at the moment. Like if you just saw it, it just teleported, but that doesn't really matter. Once the power lasers activate, the temperature should start to increase, and it should increase. It should go up to, I believe, 800 Kelvin. We're about to see.
Power lasers online.
Is it gonna?
Dark matter reactor.
There we go.
Reactor core.
Yeah, when it goes up to 800. So now, bam. Reactor is booted. So now the next section that we're going to do is just general operation of the reactor. Now there's a lot of stuff that you need to worry about in this control room, like all of these screens have essential stuff to control the reactor. It is a pretty complex system that could be scary at first, but once you really get everything down, it's really simple. We're going to start off with the coolant section. We're going to start with coolant, and then we'll move over to the other options. So to start off, this is the coolant, the general coolant controls for the power lasers, and then these are the internal cooling loops. Both of these operate in similar ways. 4 means that it's cooling more aggressively and faster. You see I set them both on, the temperature drops, and if it's set to 0 or a lower number, that means it's cooling less or not at all. See, temperature rises when I turn them off. These loops can be turned off, and when they're off, you'll see that this doesn't really matter. Like, this won't have an effect anymore. So you always want these on to keep the reactor stable. So especially when you're in public servers, people are gonna turn all of them off because they're trying to make it blow up or something. So just, if this isn't responding, that's why. And then these 2 screens, they don't really matter, to be honest. They just tell you whether or not the pumps are on. Anyway, next is these. You want both of these on. These can be toggled from the coolant room, which I'll show after. So if these are getting turned off and there's no one in the control room turning them off, they're going to be being turned off from there. So next is the internal cooling loop, which it works pretty similar. You want all 4 of these on. If they get turned off, that screen appears to be mildly broken. But anyway, if they get turned off, the cooling doesn't matter. See, pretty much identical, to be honest. Oh, I don't know why I got a little bit shaky there. I'm gonna turn these off though, because I do want to show something in this control room that I needed to get a bit hotter for. So let's flip these all on. I'll just set these to 0. Yeah, it doesn't really, if you have it set to 0, it doesn't matter whether or not these are flipped on. It won't like increase the cooling efficiency. Okay, next is the fire suppression system. If there's a fire, you open this, you click the button. That's it. That's literally it. And then just close it back. It's not really too special. Okay, I need it to get slightly hotter. Why is it mad? Why is it beeping? What?
Attention. Core temperature is exceeding outside of safe.
Oh, right. So relief valves, they will, if you pull them, once they're on, they can't be turned off. And as you can see, let me just turn them on. I'm just going to turn them all on. If you look at the core temperature is now declining pretty rapidly, even though the coolant is off. Here, I'm just going to raise up the lasers. I'll show you that after though, but we're going to raise them up just to kind of show you that even with full power, it's lowering them. So when these are on, their sole goal is to rapidly lower the temperature. And this screen is actually important. You see, they have a thermal capacity. That the thermal capacity begins to go up as they're on. The thermal capacity is like how much temperature they've lowered successfully. I don't exactly know why it's to 60 when it's not based on temperature. I don't know, but once it gets to 60, bam, the relief valves fail. And then temperature begins to go back up. Now, they will recharge, but it takes a while for them to recharge. Like, it's pretty sure it's a few minutes. So, use them sparingly, I guess. Okay, next is, there's nothing really over here on these 2 screens that relates to general reactor operation. Like, these are more for meltdown sequences. The only screen here that matters is maybe this one, which shows you the temperature if you don't want to look up there. And then also this one, which shows you the fuel cell levels and the types, which I'll get to after I finish up the control room. So next is power grid. I'm pretty sure this doesn't fully work yet, so I'm just going to ignore that for now, because it doesn't, like, I'll check it out, and if there's a segment dedicated to that after this, then that means that it does work, because last time I played, it did not. Anyway, now we have maintenance console. This is only going to be used when, or it lets you flick the key, but it's not going to work. This is what you use when the fuel cells run out, which I'll get to the fuel cells after. And then these are the lasers. Now, the lasers are actually somewhat more complex than over there. So you have this bar right here that goes from 0 to 4, and this is to control the lasers. You see, I press 3, the intensity dropped down to 75. Let me just set it to 0. And then you see temperature's dropping. But if you press this blue button, as you can see, red grouped, blue individual. If it set it to the blue button, now the lasers are controlled individually, which means that now these consoles control the temperature, or control the power lasers. I mean, like when you raise them up, causes the intensity on that laser to increase. So if people are trying, like, oh yeah, and there's also like a 30-second cooldown on this. So the point of this is if you like have someone who's there's just mashing 4 to increase the temperature, you could set it to individual, and then bam, all of the lasers are now individual, and now that person has to manually go up and spam all of them. So it's a good way to get people who are trying to make it go boom boom to delay the boom boom. I guess that's one way of putting it. Anyway, next we're going to cover the fuel cells. Now, I believe I'm able to check the fuel cell types from this menu. Or maybe my brain just made that up. Oh, yes, I can. Okay. So these are that's not the fuel cells. What I meant to say is that these are the fuel cells. Integrity I'll get to after, that's related to meltdowning, by the way. So the fuel cells, there's 3 fuel cells that power the reactor. And in case you forgot, that thing that's in the place where it shouldn't be, that's a fuel cell right there. That's not in the right spot. That's not right. Anyway, that's a fuel cell. The dark matter reactor takes 3 of them. So refueling the reactor is not a one-person job at all. And when the fuel runs out, people have to go into the reactor, like down in there, and take these cells and put them into the reactor. And there are 3 different types of cells. Okay, it's not gonna zoom in on the screen for some reason. What? I guess I'm just banned from being zoomed into screens. Anyway, there are 3 types of cells. As you can see, it says type, generic, generic, generic. Well, there's 3 types of cells. The first one is generic. Generic simply is like normal efficiency. Like, so its fuel runs down at a normal level, and it's the normal amount of power released from the lasers. However, people can buy, using their science points, I believe they're called, they can buy the 2 other types of fuel cells. Generic cells are the only thing that the matter producer... Okay, that's not nice. We're gonna real quick take a quick stop. I am sincerely sorry for that mild inconvenience, but my microphone is being held up by a petroleum jelly container since I don't have a stand, so you know what? I guess just technical issues is just what this channel is. So just a moment while I get us back where we were. So anyway, there are 3 different types of fuel cells. Generic, generic, reactive, and efficient. Generic cells have moderate fuel capacity and moderate heat gain. Efficient fuel cells are lower heat gain but they have a lot more fuel in them. And reactive cells have lower fuel in them, but they're much more powerful. That means that when the lasers receive power from them, the lasers cause even more heat than normal, which is not exactly ideal, considering people melt the core down all the time. So the best cells to have in there would be the reactive, or would be the efficient ones, because they're the ones that prevent meltdowns. Yay. Oh, but the fuel cell creator, I forgot what it's called, is only able to produce generic cells. Unfortunately, efficient cells or reactive cells can only be bought through this menu. I mean, they don't cost Robux, luckily, but they do still need these points, which you just earn them for. Yeah, you should earn them for existing. So, I hope that is the main control room all set up. I mean, all explained. Yes, it is. So, we're going to go run down to the coolant room for the next section. And here we are. The next section of our tutorial is the pumps. Now, I'm starting this not in the control room because I find the way to get to the pump controls to be very dumb, so I'd like to show you how to get there in case you get confused from the walkway that leads you into the reactor, or just from the elevator. I believe the elevator is like right here. Yeah, right there. So either way, from this area, you go through this door that's labeled pump control room, and then through this door, and then through this door, and it looks like it's an empty room, but in reality there's this side thing that you can't really fully see that I don't like, but then it leads up to this staircase that takes too long to climb. Like, way too long to climb. Like, I have a coil, and my graphics are too high, so there we go. But either way, this is the pump control room. No, I just wanted to see what that was, but this is the pump control room. These are the pumps. This is the pump menu. Intake valve opened, outtake valve opened, and then it shows you the RPM of the pump. RPM does not matter. So what you want to know is these coolant pump outtake valves, these are the same valves that are in the control room. Like, if you didn't skip through, you saw these in the control room. These can be flipped on and off from the control room, and they'll affect these down here. But these cannot be toggled from the control room. You have to come down to the pump room for this. So disabling the motor causes the pump to begin to slow down until the pump turns off. And once the pump's off, you can turn the intake off, and bam, that pump will not be dispensing anything anytime soon. Now, obviously, you don't want the pumps off because your goal should be to keep the reactor safe. So keep the pumps on at all times, people. And that's... I hate the loading thing. It's kind of annoying. Anyway, that's literally pretty much all the pumps. Or everything there is about the pumps. The only other thing about these pumps that's worth mentioning is that there is a staircase to this black void. You know, that wasn't worth... I don't think that was worth mentioning. And time for everyone's least favorite section of this game, the turbine hall. And the electrical room in general. No one's ever down here. Anyway, it has this random fan, and I don't know if this fan does anything. If anyone knows whether or not this fan actually, like, affects the reactor, or if this is some kind of, like, cosmetic joke or something, someone let me know in the comments. But I would like to note that this fan is labeled ventilation control, but why do we need a fan that big for this like tiny little area? Like, the door is usually shut. This huge fan with probably some huge pipe behind it that we can't see, like some huge vent, is literally just for this tiny little room. Anyway, so this is the turbine room. Oh, I got stuck in the chair, guys. Okay, this is why I don't play this game. Just kidding, I do play this game. This is why I don't like this game when the graphics are too low. Anyway, the first section is this place. This is the actual turbines. What do they do? Literally nothing. These are completely useless. Like, there's no gameplay with those. They're not, I don't think they work yet. I think they're still like coding that or something. Or maybe it does have a use and just, I don't know about it. If that's the case, let me know, but I'm pretty sure there isn't. Anyway, these are the generators. All three of the generators have fuel. Whenever the DMR is off, aka not producing power, the entire facility gets its power from these three generators, which is pretty impressive, not gonna lie. But I will show where to get like additional supplies for the DMR in one of the whatever the things where you can click on the thing to skip to the time frame. I'll show where those are. But to refuel these, all you gotta do is, yep, right there. Put fuel in that. You just hold the fuel, pretend that's fuel, just put it up and click. Bam, fuel's in. It's impressive. Alright, we're gonna shut that. See, all of this, cosmetic. None of these do anything. This is the only room you have to worry about. It's not so much worry about it because there's nothing here either. Like, I don't know why I'm even dedicating an entire time frame to this. This entire electrical room only has one purpose, and that's in rare events where like the power goes completely black. You gotta go back here, primary grid. If the switch is down, you flip it back up. That's it. That's the only use for this power room. So what I'm trying to say is that the developers of this game should maybe put a bit more effort into this room. Just thoughts. Anyway, next section. They didn't mop their floors. Yes, the next part of our tour. I probably, like a couple minutes ago, said that I was going to do something else before this, but on my way to go get to that, I remembered, oh, there's an entire big door that everyone gets all confused about. So, here we go. So, if you spawn in this place, and you aren't one of the...
Dark matter reactor thermal temperatures below sustainable.
Okay, dark matter is...
Please raise the core temperature.
Reactor's unhappy, but to be honest, I don't care at the moment. So, if you're here, if you spawn here and you didn't reset, you're gonna see big door. Don't jump down there. There's door. You'll just be trapped there. So what you want to do is go to this door control room, which is a surprisingly fewer amount of stairs than the coolant room. Why does the coolant control room need more stairs than the door? Like, that entire coolant room is just not designed, like, at all. Anyway, here we are. This is big control room for the door. So, all you gotta do is bonk.
Warning, dark matter react sustainability lost. Combustion sequence has been stalled. Please restart the dark matter reactor immediately.
Okay, so you click the button, and then the big door goes open. Now the point of this door in this game's like lore, I guess, is to prevent a dark matter reactor explosion from damaging everything above it, or I guess to dampen the amount of damage that's going to occur to the outside world. It's a big door. It probably prevents something. But this door has some requirements before you can close it. Now, whenever the reactor is going boom, the only way to survive is, well, not the only way to survive, but the main way that people survive is being up here and then shutting the door before the reactor explodes, which is pretty sound advice on how to not die. So, normally, in normal operation, people are gonna have everything all over the place. So that fan is not happy at the moment. So I'm gonna set everything to the worst case scenario for this door, just to show you how to close this door when the reactor is about to explode. Also, again with the big vents. Why do you need a fan that big? Okay, despite the fact that the fan's not spinning, it's labeled as on, so we're gonna go with this. So as you can see, closed door if green. Nothing's green. I can't shut that door. That door's not gonna shut. So in order to shut that door, you have to set both of these fans to off. Now, whenever the reactor is mid-explosion, there's gonna be people who are gonna, like last second, they're gonna enable the fan because the fan takes so long to turn on and shut off. So if that happens to you, well, just hope death by nuclear explosion, or dark matter explosion, sorry, is painless. It's probably not. So anyway, you need both the elevator up and the two things off. Now down there, there's a control panel where people can also bring the elevator down and up. So don't forget that there's also going to be people who are trying to not be killed. And they're going to be down there, and they're not going to be making it out in time, but they're still going to want to take that elevator out, even though it's going to cost everyone their lives. So just make sure you get that elevator up and just shut that door. Bam. And then just hope no one trolls and reopens it. Why does that door have a ring on it? What? Anyway, so that's how that works. But now we're going to completely open that up so we can go down there. But that's pretty much 101 to how the TARDIS door works. So now we're going to skip to whatever I was going to do after. Alright. This is the next critical step to running the reactor, and that is getting the stuff that you need, like the gas canisters. So right now we're at the bottom of the big TARDIS door, in case you're wondering where this is. It's like right at the facility entrance. So once you're there, you're gonna look at this big sign, unless you have signs off, which if you have signs off, I recommend you turn them on if you're watching this video, because that means you're probably new at the game. So settings, turn the signs on. I don't know how to do it actually, so anyway, facility cargo bay is this way. So you're gonna go, ooh, what's in there? So you're gonna go here, cargo bay, and there's gonna be this big checkpoint that locks when things are about to blow up, but luckily nothing's about to blow up, so we don't have to actually worry about that. And then you're gonna go through this door. It's a very far walk if you don't have a like one of these things, whatever they're called. And then you're gonna go here, and then you're gonna go through an airlock. Oh goodness, this is, in previous updates it was a lot quicker to get your necessary materials. I'm not trying to say that they're making it harder, but they made it harder. Oh. Okay, finally, here we are. So, well, you have to be on the maintenance team in order to use this stuff. At the start of the game, you get to pick a team. To be honest, just pick maintenance because they're the only person that does the cool stuff. So you got fuel cells, which if you don't want to print fuel cells, you can just take one from here. Print fuel cells, I meant if you don't want to. Yeah. Anyway, these are the... Oh, wait. I don't think I can... Oh, right, maintenance team. Forgot. Well, if I was on the maintenance team, you'd be able to get fuel canisters for the generators. So pretty much all this room is fuel canisters for the generators and emergency fuel cells if you don't want to go print fuel cells. No, I keep saying print. If you don't want to go make fuel cells. Though, to be honest, this isn't so much of an emergency solution, considering you have to go through like 84 doors and you have to come to the exit of the site. So the only thing useful here is literally just the fuel. Anyway, now we're going to do a meltdown, which because doing a meltdown in a single-person server is mundane, we're going to go swap over to a server with real live individuals, and we're going to go boom boom. Alright, let's see that occur. Forgot what my key to pause is. You know, I believe there's a section that I almost forgot to add, but luckily got squeezed in last second when I joined the public server. I mean, I heard if you go through this vent, like just go to any vent and then click levels 1 to 0, and then you go as far down as possible. Like, just go as far down as you can. Like, just keep going in circles mindlessly until you go down, like all the way down. I'm gonna like run through it so maybe you could follow if you want, but just go down. Just skip this vent scene if it's not good. Also, we're talking about the warhead. I was kind of hoping we would get down there before my like planned out sentence ended. So now we're just like, oh. Oh, there you go. So you know you're getting close because you saw the previous text was sub-level, and then you got to go a bit more down than that, but it's like one of that you're getting closer kind of thing. Bam. Oh, this is the correct floor. Correction. This is the correct floor. And then you want to go just a little roundabout, and then this is going to be the last down. They changed it a bit, but anyway, this is the nuclear warhead part of the game. Yeah. As if this place wasn't confusing enough, they added a nuke. Now, before I show the control room to the nuke, I want to show the nuke. I think I'm able to reach it without like a card. Yeah, there it is. Well, I would like to mention that not all nukes are nuke-shaped. Right there, that is a reasonable size for a legitimate warhead, so that's the nuke. I know it doesn't look good, but the other one looked worse. But this is the part y'all want to see, the control room. The door takes 18 years to open. And then, there we go. There we are. So this is the warhead. There's also a guy here, but anyway. So the warhead's got the 4 buttons. The only people that can turn on this warhead are the raiders. I don't know how you join those. I'll leave like the link to how that works in the bottom. 12 minutes. Do I have 12 minutes is the question. Yes, I do. If this server explodes before 12 minutes by the reactor, I'll show you guys that. Like, I'll just end it up with the reactor, but if this timer goes off and the DMR doesn't explode, then I'll show you the much better warhead and then the meltdown after. So I'm not going to have you guys wait for 12 minutes, so let's just hit the pause button and teleport. Okay, we have 3 minutes and 38 seconds before this warhead explodes. See, it was 12 minutes, but I time warped the entire world to teleport you. Just kidding, I didn't. But now that no one's standing on the controls, I'd just like to show them. Step 1, confirm. It's a keypad. We don't have the card. Raiders have the card. Then step 2, they press a button. Step 3, they press a button. And then timer. And then they press a button. And that's it. It's not that hard. Oh, right, I should mention though, the warhead takes a whole hour to prime, like 60 real life minutes. So in order to even witness a warhead, you have to be in a server where the monkeys that are playing don't blow it up for a whole 60 minutes. And if any security joins, they want to turn off the nuke. So, yeah, so nukes aren't exactly common, I'd say. Also note the when I said the security team, it's one of the teams that they have here, but their goal isn't to like defend the reactor, their goal isn't to like prevent the reactor from blowing up. They're pretty much glorified moderators who, for some reason, also have their job as nuke disabling. The security system is one of the things that aren't exactly well liked by me, but still got that minute 30. Here, let me open up chat. I'd just like to show you the mild chaos that ensues whenever warheads get close to priming. But now, if that door would... These doors take too long, and everyone knows them. Anyway, in the final minute of the counter, I believe nothing happens. Yeah, nothing happens until it reaches 0. I just wanted to point out that there was only a minute left, so I feel better. I did lower the game audio, right? I sure hope I did, because if I didn't lower the game audio, this entire video is going in the garbage. Okay, and I'm reclosing chat. We're gonna skip the last 30 seconds through the power of magic. This game is a time system, yet the clocks don't work. Never mind, the clock did work, it just moved. Anyway, 6, 3, 2, 1. Wait. No, I can't. I just read that. Anyway, warhead is ready to prime. Oh, they didn't even click any of the buttons. I don't know. I don't watch this often.
Protocol telephone has been activated. Please prepare for emergency evacuation at this time. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill.
So right now, they're gonna make a big explosion. Bam. So now that they've primed it, it's gonna like, it's doing something. I'm gonna be honest, I've only seen one explosion once, so I don't actually fully know what happens. But
Modified QSERF personnel. We have received signals to begin the protocol cell detonation sequence. The warhead will be primed in T-minus 40.
Attention. Core temperature is
Alright.
exceeding outside of safe operating perimeters.
There we go. So then there's this T-minus 30. This is like the final 30 seconds. Like, see that cancel button's blinking? That's the final 30 seconds before the reactor, or sorry, before the warhead can no longer be canceled. And then the warhead also has its own timer. So this isn't like, the warhead won't explode in 15 seconds. There's another timer after this, and that's the actual countdown. A whole hour. That's way too long. I don't know why they did an hour for the reactor. Like, why does it take a whole hour to prime it? Someone let me know.
Attention all QSERF personnel. The warhead is ready for detonation. All bottom side facility personnel, please evacuate to the Tartarus zone immediately. I repeat, please evacuate to the Tartarus zone immediately.
Yeah, I stand corrected. That clock definitely works. Anyway, so now I think they put in, like, I don't know whether or not they just, like, get these keys or, like, if they have to find these keys on the map, but they put keys in, or they're supposed to put keys in, but they're not putting the keys in. So where I will be. No, you gotta put the key in. You gotta put the key in. I misspelled, but the you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do another skip because apparently people don't want to put the key in. Little update. I do need to apologize for a second. I thought, because in an older version, like I said, I've only seen the Nuke once, I thought that the keys were just automatically in there, but in this stage, they actually need to go find the keys. So, like, they don't spawn with them, so that's why there's this delay. Like, I did not know this, but now I know this, and I decided I'd let you guys know. That way you wouldn't have to keep, like, all the raiders are probably, that are watching this video are, like, slamming their heads on their keyboards, like, bro, we don't have the keys, we don't spawn with the keys. So I'd like to put all of the pain out of your head. Okay, I'm gonna skip until they find the keys. So, I have some sad news. They didn't find the keys in time, and since they didn't find the keys in 500 seconds, there's now a 40-minute timer, and I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So, I would cut out that section, but I don't have a video editing tool. I've been skipping parts of this video by pausing the recording. Like, I don't have the necessary material. Oh, this is sad. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna, on a private server, cause an explosion because I just, like, public servers are way too unstable. I don't want to spend a whole hour just to, like, this video was only supposed to take an hour, and this is my it's been 4 hours since I started recording. So this is my sincere apology for the entire Nuke incident. That was not how I intended things to play out. Like, I was hoping that the nuke would just go plain simple, and then I could put a meltdown after, but that didn't work. So, we're just gonna blow it up. So I'm going to skip until I get a bit closer to the explosion. But I just wanted to just put this like right in the middle so I could like explain what happened, why it went wrong, and like again I'm like it wasn't supposed to it wasn't supposed to end up like this. Alright, so I'm gonna skip to the meltdown and then we're gonna go from there. But everything I said during that nuke, by the way, was still valid. Alright, this is now the meltdown sequence of the video, which is going to be the final chapter. So, a couple notes. If you try to freeze down the reactor, it just simply stalls, shuts down, needs to be restarted. Can't blow it up by cooling it down. It's not how life works. But you can blow it down by overheating it, so that's what we gotta do. Now, I have everything, like, all of the switches are off. There is no fuel, there's no coolant going anywhere. So this should be a smooth explosion, but we'll see. That's not the pause button. Okay, so the first stage of the meltdown is, first before anything melts down, you gotta heat it up. At 1,200 kelvins, the reactor is labeled as exceeding safe temperatures, which you'll hear an announcement, and a non-stop beeping occurs, which I believe can just, that silences it. Now this is the main facility monitoring panel, which I don't think I showed in the control room. It shows temperature, integrity, and then the cooling pump status. The only important part of this screen is core temperature and core integrity. But the hotter the core gets, you'll notice some of these sensors are going to go from green to red or green to yellow to orange to red or something like that. None of these blinking things actually mean anything though. It's literally just like a random, these sections are literally just randomized. It's just randomly picking parts to turn red. The lower the fuel is you'll notice the temperature will begin to be a bit unhappy. That's life. Gotta be unhappy. Alright, we're gonna again skip to the next stages of the meltdown. This is the second meltdown indicator. Still not at meltdown temperature, but as you can see that once you turn on the reactor, they want you to hold it at a critical temperature for a short while. And as you can see, we have surpassed that. So this is the temperature in which the people that are supposed to be testing this reactor aren't supposed to surpass. So this is kind of like the second indicator that you need to take the temperature and cool it down. This would be the point where you want to flip all 4 of these. But obviously we are intentionally causing a meltdown for this video, so we are not going to be doing that. Alright, Aw, oopsies. It looks like we don't have enough fuel. So, I guess you guys get to see as we refill the fuel. Yay. Yeah, this video is really downgraded at the ending. So anyway, we're going to quickly grab some fuel cells, and then we're going to show you guys how to refuel the thing. Okay guys, now we're going to show you how to refill the fuel cells. So, because the fuel cells, whenever they're below 20, they're low, and when they get to 0, it's just not going to produce fuel anymore. So you go to the maintenance console, and Well, you gotta turn the keys until they're like that, but I already clicked them off camera, so you just gotta click the button, and then, it's,
Attention.
there we go.
GMR has now entered maintenance mode.
So this is now maintenance mode. So now, like, the reactor is no longer producing power, and its temperature is not going to go up and down. It's completely safe to enter the core. So to get into the reactor, it is... I have the employee key for being in the group, which I highly recommend you just join the group, because it allows you to get down there like a lot quicker. Which I'll link the group in the description, but so you go through the side door that's right here, like that's the control room, and it's over here, and then you're going to want to go to the changing room, which is it's a huge blast door. It's going to take a very long time to open. There we go. And then you want to take, this is the same elevator that we used earlier to get up into the control room, and now we're going to be taking it to go back down. There we go, and then down we go, changing area. And now the changing area, you're going to have to get the radiation suits, because you can't enter the reactor if you don't have the radiation suit. There we go. You don't need the employee key card to enter. If you go through the long way, you can take the stairs down, but I'm not doing that. So you just gotta click the suit and pants, and then if you're fully dressed with both the hat and the actual outfit, that means that you have the hazmat suit. It also comes with the flashlight. So if you've been using your fuel cells as flashlights, I recommend that you just grab a suit. Probably be a better idea. So you're gonna have to switch through it. Now the reactor is very scary, to be honest. Like, it's huge, and if you fall, you're in the void. You're dead. Okay, my graphics are too low, so we're going to raise that up so we don't see the edge of the map. Let's see the floor. You can't really see the stuff that's on the floor, you have to scroll up. Right now we need the structure access, because we have to go onto it. Like, we can't access it from back here. So we want to go in the elevator, and then sometimes this elevator breaks during meltdowns, so you shouldn't be in here if it's melting down, to be honest. But if you are for some reason, don't be. Like, there's really no reason to. Okay, this should be the... See, they changed it up a bit. Like, it used to be where that elevator took you straight to the bottom, but now it looks like you have to go up here. A couple new additions to it. Why is there another airlock? It's a bit too many airlocks, you know? Alright, we're gonna have to toggle through the airlock. Because what we want to get on is the structure that's right below us. Like the actual reactor that holds the reactor stuff. Oh no. What? You know, upon careful analysis, I believe I went the wrong direction. No, we're not. This is the wrong place. See, like I said, they changed it up. I haven't been in the reactor in a while. So, if you're following what I just did, don't do what I just did. Travel back in time and undo that. What you want to do is go back in here. And then click the button. How do I send you down? Go down. That lift does not look like it's gonna... Never mind, it does fit. it's taking me a second. Oh, DMR structure X, there's an arrow. This is the wrong elevator. Oh, see, that's the elevator that I was talking about breaks. No, this is the one that breaks. That other one doesn't break. This is the elevator that breaks. It's like a rope elevator. My apologies. There's also this map, which looks like it's way too bright considering the entire environment of this, like, whole reactor. But we're gonna go with it. I just had a crazy thought. What if this game is copyrighted music? Like, I still have this game's audio playing at like a reduced volume. But if this game is any copyrighted music, my channel's just got deleted. Well, at least I got deleted for the views. Let's go. My channel's failing. So, here we are. We're now entering the DM. You know, I don't know whether or not you can use that elevator while it's moving up. I suppose that's why there's no animation, because it probably has to shift the elevator. So, you know what? That I believe earlier I might have called the developers lazy for that. But now I must apologize. It is definitely not lazy. So to insert a new fuel cell, you unlock it, you take out the fuel cell that's in it, and then you put in the new fuel cell like I just did, and then you lift the lever. And now you have this depleted generic cell, which you would take back to the thing to get rid of it. But we're not doing that. See, right now what I want is fuel cells. So normally you'd have to go get the fuel cells, but I'm not into that. You know, it's not something I do. So I'm just gonna buy instant reactive cells for the other two chambers. Next one. Okay. I'm gonna show you guys again in case you didn't understand what happened. You pull the lever. Now it's unlocked. Now you take it, and now you hold the new cell. This is correct. There you go. Now you hold the new cell. You place it in, and then you lock it. Locked. See how that works? We're gonna do it one more time because we have to. Oh, this is not. This is. Oh, we gotta go farther. There it is.
Fuel cell 2 unlocked.
Again with the fuel cell, you take it out, you grab the reactive, you plop the reactive fuel cell in, and then you lock it.
Fuel cell 2 locked.
It also doesn't matter if the fuel cells are different types. Probably should have mentioned that. Like, it's completely fine. Okay, let's go back to the control room. This thing's a Game Pass. I literally just bought it just so I could make this video. Like, literally the only reason. And then to exit maintenance mode, you don't.
Maintenance completed.
Yeah, you press that button.
Restart the dark matter reactor.
And then you gotta do the whole ignition switch, make sure the things are all flicked, which they should be since it never got decalibrated. Excuse me? Oh, there is something that I neglected, and that was the, remember earlier when I mentioned the generators? Yeah, you can't start the reactor with no, reactor juice. So what I'm trying to say is that we now need to go get some fuel. I'm just gonna skip it because I already explained how to refuel the generators, so we're just gonna teleport there magically. Alright guys, it is time. Took a little bit. There's a moderate bit of lag, but we are now bringing the core to its critical melting temperature, which is, I believe, 3,000 degrees Kelvin. We're about to find out, so. Huh? Sad. And it's just being slightly laggy. That's why it's kind of bugging out with that temperature, but it works all the same. I also may or may not have bought a few reactive cells, which you can see are indeed more fuel consumption. Look at that, reactive, 1 and 2, 1 and 2 are lower, and 3's higher. Critical temperature is now. Real now. Like right now. It's about to reach it. As you can see, this switchboard or whatever it is, it's mad. Everything's red. Everything's unhappy. And we've reached critical temperature. Now, just because it reached critical temperature doesn't mean that it's going to go boom boom just yet. Because now the core integrity is going to drop. Oh, wait. Is it not 3,000? My apologies. It is 3,500, not 3,000. My notes were incorrect again. Yeah, we're not good at this. I'm not. Anyway. Core temperature is going up. Normally this would be the time for you to pull all 4 of these valves and start praying, but that's not what we're here for. Or that's what I played this game for. I played the game to cool the core, but you guys aren't here to cool the core. Probably. I don't know. Depends. Personal preference. Okay, that alarm, I don't know if you can hear it, but I don't want to.
Superstructure integrity dropping. Engage thermal systems immediately.
There we go. So now the core integrity is going to start dropping.
Reactor superstructure breach detected.
That's what we want. We want it to go down if we're trying to blow it up. So now the integrity, I just fell. The integrity is at 97. So visually, nothing's changed yet, but like the lower it gets is when when it reaches 0, that's when the actual meltdown begins. I don't believe there is a way to increase the core integrity. I mean, I might be wrong. Maybe maintenance mode might repair it, or maybe if the core is cold enough, maybe it repairs it, but I don't believe that core integrity can be fixed. Like I said, could be mistaken, but pretty sure it can. Oh yeah, this also happens. Now that the reactor is at critical temperature, the fuel cells are beginning to like self-replicate, like they're beginning to do what the condenser does, the other thing that produces the cells. So it's now going to cause this. It's going to cause the fuel cells to start overproducing, like overfilling, which further increases the temperature. So, fun. I'm just going to pull one of these, not because I want it to cool down, but because it doesn't matter. Just to show. Like, if I were to pull all 4, I'd maybe be able to recover this. But it's not what we want to do. 75% now. Again, no physical changes. Because this... Oh, goodness, that alarm is even... Oh, right, radiation. I forgot that's a thing.
Integrity at 75%.
Oh, I can't do the radiation seal yet, but... So... Now there's radiation in the chamber. That means that if you're in the chamber, even with the radiation suit, you're going to start losing health if you were in there. Which I'm not in there, because I'm cool. Yeah, I just did the valve just to show like it's heating faster than the valve can even help. I mean, all four it would, but that's not epic. Okay, integrity. So as you can see, like the integrity drops, things get mad, but nothing really happens, to be honest, until things start getting lower. So we got mail.
Attention. Core structural integrity at 50%.
I don't know what that says.
Warning. Core structural integrity is below safe operating parameters. Please shut down the reactor and engage the automated maintenance system.
Oh yeah, at this point, reactor shutdowns would begin to become like something you want. Yeah, like I can't enable maintenance mode, right? No, of course not. But soon, like when it gets worse, you would be able to shut down the reactor. Like I'll show you how that works, but that's not yet. Even though the announcement, I don't know if you heard the announcement said that it's time now, but it's not time now. System nominal. You know, I doubt that.
Core structural integrity at 25%.
Like it begins to drop fast. Now is pretty much the point where nothing you do could bring it back.
Reactor core structural integrity monitoring system.
And here's me testing that theory.
Attempting to reboot.
Oh no! Oh no, these do increase integrity. I made a mistake.
Critical error. Reboot failure. Integrity status unknown.
Unknown, but it still says the percentage. Okay, yeah, these increase integrity. That's where integrity gets increased from. Now we know. Oh, but yeah, it's increasing faster than these can assist since the temperature's so high.
Dark matter reactor pressures monitoring system failure. Pressure status unknown. Warning. All
Oh,
facilities
okay, so
scientific
this is the
personnel
this is like the meltdown time.
You have 11 minutes to reach a minimum safe distance.
DMR is now unhappy with us.
Attention all personnel. Code red is issued by the facility automated management system. The lockdown code has been overridden with the designated.
So still at this moment, there's nothing that you can do besides evacuate, but we're not evacuating because we don't operate like that. What we're instead gonna do is make sure the power's set to max. Yeah, we look at the face of death and we stare at it. Right now, there's nothing that can be done to revert it at this point. Like, there is no canceling. Even if you were to enable all the coolant systems, at this point, it's over.
Attention. Dark matter reactor integrity monitoring system failure preemption protocol initiated. Engaging code red emergency.
So then this is where the self-destruct is about to occur. Because now that code red's been called, it's going to allow us to do the shutdown, but I'll show you how that works.
For evacuating the facility. Attempting to flee will have been terminated on site. This is your only warning.
Estimating time of reactor destruction.
Also, the core integrity I probably bugged out by pulling those. It's normal. It's not going to affect the game. Like, this game still has some bugs, you know?
Option to shut down the reactor core will expire in T-5 minutes.
Okay, I have time. So now, the reactor shutdown is supposed to occur. Now, in order for us to even shut it down, oh my goodness, there's so many announcements. As I was saying, in order for you to shut this down, you would need the temperature to be below 3000 Kelvin, which is, it's, you would have to not be increasing the temperature like me. So at this point, shutdown would not be an option. But if you had the code, which I don't have, the code like spawns somewhere on the map. Like, it used to show you where the code was, which was what I was hoping that it would do. But it doesn't look like it does that anymore. Yeah, it used to pop up saying where the code was, but so at this point you'd look around like the walls, the notepads, papers, like these things, but the ones that are in the site. Probably like in the security offices is where code might be. Not like those ones. Like the security offices that the employee card can still use. The announcement is so loud. So if you had the code, you could shut it down. And then you gotta also press the enter button, which when I was messing around with it, I didn't even see the enter button because it's hard to see, but... And then if you don't find the code in time, well, I mean, the timer runs out, and then bomb. Now the code would not matter.
Danger. Dark matter reactor explosion will occur in T-5 minutes.
So right now there's nothing that could be done.
Now expired. Directive has been issued. Evacuate to Tartarus.
So let's do some magic TARDIS teleportation.
Dark matter reactor operations team. Please evacuate the facility immediately.
Let's show you how to lock down the TARDIS. TARDIS is the big door at the top that is in an earlier segment of this video.
Attention, facility personnel. Please proceed to the nearest ship immediately.
Now we're gonna go to the TARDIS zone. Takes a bit. Oh, there's the pop-ups. You could also go to those blast shelters, but those like lock down in like 2 minutes. The best survival ending, in my opinion, is probably the fact that you're above the explosion, that you're not going to be trapped in some bunker forever. So in order to shut that door, you gotta have the things off, elevator up, and bam. Oh yeah, there's also some zones down there that are severely irradiated, which is what that control button on the floor in the control room was for that I was looking at. But we're not in there anymore. So as you saw, all I did was do that. Bam. It's shut. You could cycle the door a few more times, but it's dangerous because the power will run out. So now that we did that, let's see if we can survive in the control room long enough. Oh. Oh, I thought the teleport failed. Wait, I mean, it almost did, but... And then arm. Oh wow, I was wrong. It's not what the button's for.
Attention, lockdown protocol now active. Blast doors closed.
Oh, you know what? That's probably for the shutdown. My apologies. Well, if no one's ever seen the actual explosion, I'm gonna give you that first class seat. Let's close that. Close that. At this point, you would either be in a blast shelter, upstairs, or you're dead. If you were right here, you didn't have a teleporter tool, you would be dead. Like, there's no way you could get out at this point, because the blast doors around the facility, which you've probably seen throughout this video, they lock at this point, and like, the only way you can get around them is like the vents, and the vents are a mess. It's pretty much everything bad. Oh wow, it pulls you into the reactor. You know, I've never actually went back into the control room because I'm usually not dying in the explosions. Oh, that's funny, and then it spawns you in the worst possible place. Explosions are fun. Oh yeah, so like, just before I teleported, you saw that that blast door was blocked up. So then the reactor has officially boomed. Right there. Roll credits. Oh yeah, I rolled this cutscene, I guess. That's not what I meant by credits. Nope, you guys are gonna have to play the game to see this stuff. Bam! That's right, I just lured you in by not letting you see the lore unless you join the game yourself. Okay. Alright guys, that's gonna be the end of this video that definitely didn't take me 6 hours to record, except it did. So yeah, that's gonna be the end of the video. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please make sure to like and subscribe. And if you did not like this tutorial, 1, I don't blame you, and 2, leave a comment on why this tutorial wasn't right for you, or why you didn't like it. And then I might make a part 4, not a part, like a 4th tutorial to this game. Like, this is my 3rd tutorial in the same game. It's just like they keep adding new stuff, and my previous videos were at like 0.5 FPS, so yeah. Alright, well yeah, if you, like I said, enjoyed the video. If not, tell me why, and make sure to check out my new company. Links in the description. Yeah, I make computers now. I also fix them. Do you want your computer fixed? Anyone? Nope. Alright. Alright, bye everyone, and make sure to stay green. I never say that. Why did I end it with that? Why would any